Hi everyone, welcome to Canvas Kids, and this week we will be painting a shamrock with a ladybug. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. So everybody should have their shamrock and ladybug traced out. I'm not sure what I told you to do first on your paper, but I think I am going to do the shamrocks first. So everybody has green. You're going to want to do the shamrock in green. So go ahead and paint your shamrocks. And you should kind of follow the shape of the petals on the shamrock. And do the stem. Now make sure, because when I trace the canvases, the pattern on the canvases, sometimes they move a little bit. So make sure your petals on your shamrock are all connected in the middle, because sometimes it shifts a little while I'm tracing. Can't have your petals not attached to one another. So go ahead and paint your shamrocks. I started with my little one first. I'm going to go around that one a little better. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit to get this stem. I think I did better tracing on yours than I did on mine. Okay. Use whatever size brush works best for you. I could go with the bigger one on the bigger one, but it's okay. I don't have to. Like, see, this one isn't really connected, so I'm going to make sure I connect it. Now, if you want to be fancy at all, you could go back and you could fancy up your shamrocks a little bit. You could use a little white in them to shadow them, to make it look like it's shining. You could darken them a little, adding a little bit of blue to shadow it. Or you could just leave them plain green. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to turn this. And if you ever have to stop to catch up, go right ahead. You're probably going faster than I am. Everybody paints at a different pace. Some people are faster, some people are slower. Doesn't really matter. Just do it how you want to do it. Okay. Almost done with the green. Try to stay in your lines the best you can. Okay, so now my shamrock is finished. I am all done with my green. I'm going to move it out of the way. Now we're going to do the background, which is going to be blue and white. If you want to add white to it in spots, you can, or if you just want to use strictly blue, that's okay too. I'm going to start with a smaller brush, and I'm going to start in between, because that's the hardest part. So you kind of need a smaller brush, and you might kind of smear your green. So you could always wait till your green is dry. It's up to you. I would recommend it though. Oops, I got too much paint on there. Use a skinny enough brush you can get in between. You get a little green mixed in your background, don't worry about it. And this one should be more dry anyway. Okay. Make sure you skip where your ladybug is. I am just going to use straight blue. Like I said, you could use a mixture of blue and white, and you could just mix it on your board. You don't have to mix it on a plate ahead of time. Gotta do it around my ladybug. Now I'm gonna try to kind of hurry, so mine's not gonna be as neat, but take your time, there's no big hurry. I'm gonna get around my patterns first, and then I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna fill in all the big spots. Oops, I just went over the green. All right, don't go over the green like I just did. And it doesn't matter with your background which direction you paint. If you're going to do white with your blue, you can just kind of, let me show you. You can just kind of do one of those all over. It looks good when you add the white to it too. Okay, I'm going to finish around this one. Remember, I'm going to do a little quicker, so mine isn't going to be as neat. But you can take your time and you can stop your video whenever you want to catch up. All of your painting kits also include some books, some with ladybugs. Some are real books, fiction, some are nonfiction. Of course, you could always come into the library. We could help you find some. And now that it's a nice springy day, maybe you'll start to see some outside. Okay, I went around it with the small brush everywhere. And I'm going to switch to the bigger brush. I think I'm going to put some white in there too. It's just the sky, so it doesn't have to be all exactly perfectly blue, because sometimes the sky is more blue. Sometimes it's more cloudy. And I'm just going to do mine quickly so you can take your time, like I said. Add some more white. If I go over, it's okay. So I have that underneath it. Catch the extra paint. It's always good to put yours on top of something, either a tablecloth, newspaper, some big construction paper. Okay, that's too much white right there now. Okay, so mine is all finished with the blue. And I have a bunch of blue on here. Okay, so now we have the ladybug to do. I'm going to turn this a little bit. It's hopefully not getting full of paint. And now we have to paint the ladybug. So I would recommend using a smallish brush. The back side of him is all red. If you go over where the black is, don't worry about it because the black will cover up where you went over it. And with it on my arm. All right, I think I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Darn, I thought I brought the other one in here. Okay. So now his head is going to be black. And have to give him some antennas. It's like that. And wait till yours is dry, but you also have to add some spots. And however many spots you want, it's up to you. Mine is going to have 3. And then when your ladybug is dry, you want to add a little bit of white paint right over the back, which mine's not going to show because my paint's too wet. Little line over the back like that, so it looks like the sun is kind of shining on him and he's got a little highlight on him. Now you can, like I said, you can leave the shamrocks solid like they are, or you can take a little bit of green. I'm just going to mix it right on here. You know what? I'm going to mix it right in the lid. You can take a little bit of green and a little bit of blue. The lid's too slippery. And you can make a different shade of green. In fact, you know what? You can add a dab of black in there to make it darker. And I didn't put this on your instructions, but you can make the darker green and you can kind of outline. See, you can see the outline of it. Sorry, my bird is making lots of noise. See, you can kind of outline your shamrock in the dark color. And then you add a different look to your shamrock that way. Like I said, I didn't put this on the instructions, but you could do it if you want. Just like that, and then it even shows up better. See? Or what you can do, another thing, let me show you this. Is you can take some white and some green, a little bit of green to a lot more white. And you can make a lighter green. And I'll show you what you can do with the smaller one. You can take your smaller shamrock and you can kind of lighten it in the middle like this. And that adds something too. Looks a little different that way because they're not completely solid green either. So you could do either one of those if you want to, or you could just leave it solid green the way it is. Okay, and if you want, you even can make yourself a little sun at the top. But if you do that, I would suggest waiting till your blue is completely dry. And also, you might want to put a layer of white down. And if you have some yellow at home, put the yellow on top of the white, because yellow is very see-through. So you kind of need the white down first. But if you have any leftover yellow at home and you want to make a little sun in the sky, go ahead. Or you could even take some white and you can make some clouds. You have a little extra room up there. Feel free to play around with it. Just try to make a little swirly cloud up here. So you can even make a little cloud like that if you want. Just use your imagination. Like I said, wait till your blue is also dry too, because otherwise it's just going to smear with whatever color you're putting in there. All right, and that is it. And don't forget to put your initials on it. If you want, now my Ladybug didn't have a face on him, but if you want to put a face on it, you can. You can use your white paint. Wait till his face is completely dry though, because right now with that all being wet like that, the face will end up being gray because your white and your black will mix together. So go ahead and do whatever you want just to change it up a little bit. Use your imagination, and I will see you next week. Thanks for coming. Bye.